Hello guys, in this video I will explain and I will discuss the detailed significance of time constant and also how to find out the time constant in complex circuits. So starting with the definition, we know that in charging LR circuit, as we have already discussed, that the time constant is the time in which the current flowing in the circuit attains or reaches or increases to 63.3. In fact, we can say that 63.2 also percent of its peak value. The steady state value is also known as peak value, and this thing I have already explained in charging LR circuit. Now in discharging LR circuit, the time constant is the time in which the current decays to 36.7% of its initial value. So these are the definitions of time constant in charging and discharging circuits respectively. Now what is the significance of time constant in LR circuit? You can see that this is the time in which the current achieves a certain value or current decays to a certain value in both the circuits. So the more time constant in any circuit would be the more time current would take to achieve that value, or the more time current would take to decay to that particular value. So we can say that if current is taking more time in any circuit to achieve a value, so the rate of charging of that circuit is very slow. So therefore we can say that the rate of charging or discharging in LR charging circuit and the rate of discharging in LR discharging circuit is inversely proportional to the time constant. So the greater is the time constant and slower would be the rate of charging or discharging in an LR circuit. So this is very important, significant property of this time constant, and I've also drawn two graphs to explain you with more detail. Sorry. The first graph shows the growth graph of any charging circuit, and you can see that this graph number 1 is growing at a slower rate and this graph number 2 is growing at a rapid rate. How I can say this thing? That you can see that at any time, let's suppose this is the this is some value or we can say that let's suppose this is a value of current. Let's suppose it is I or I1. So you can see that this I1 is achieved by 2 in a lesser time, and this I1 is achieved by 1 in a greater time. So the time taken by both of these graphs is different, and the greater time is taken by graph 1. So we can say that the rate of charging of graph 1 is less than the rate of charging of graph 2, and therefore you can predict that the time constant of graph 2 will be lesser than time constant of graph 1, because graph 1 has a greater time constant and therefore its rate of charging is slower. Now if I move on the rate of discharging and I move on the graph which is of the decay circuit, so you can see again there are two graphs, and if again I draw any current demarcation, let's suppose it is I1, so you can see that this graph 2 decays to I1 in a lesser time and graph 1 decays to I1 in a greater time. So the rate of discharging of 2 is greater than the rate of discharging of 1, and hence again I can say that the time constant of 2 is less than the time constant of 1. Now this time constant depends on the resistance and inductance. So if inductor is same in both the circuits, you can manipulate or you can change the number of resistances or the value of resistance to manipulate the time constant. So it is very easy to change the time constant, or you can also use rheostats to continuously vary the time constants. Now in the complex circuits you would see that there would be many resistances which are connected with a single inductor along with some batteries. So how to find out the equivalent time constant in such circuits? So there are certain steps which you have to follow, and that following that steps would give you the sure shot 100% accurate result. So I am taking an example and I will also apply these steps on that example. So you can see that this is a circuit which has 3 resistances and an inductor and a battery. We have to find out the time constant of this circuit. So first step is the short all the cells and battery of the circuits. You have to short circuit all the potential sources of the circuit. So the potential source of this circuit is a single cell. You can see that cell. So you have to short circuit this cell, and we have done that. Now second step says that you have to remove the inductor and name the terminals of the inductor as terminal A and B. Now I have removed this inductor from here and I have named the terminal as A and B. You can see that. Now third step is the fact that you have to find out the equivalent resistance of this circuit across these terminals. Now you have to find out the equivalent resistance across these terminals, and you can see that this R and R are in parallel because they are connected in parallel. You can visualize this R connected like that. So these two are connected in parallel and these are in series with 2R. So the equivalent resistance which I can see is R by 2. R by 2 is the equivalent resistance of these two, and it is connected in series with this 2R. So this is R by 2 plus 2R. So the equivalent resistance of this circuit would be 5R by 2, and the time constant can be written as L upon R equivalent. Therefore the equivalent time constant of this circuit would be L upon 5R by 2. So this time constant is the equivalent time constant of this circuit. So I am repeating again my steps, that the very first step is to short all the potential sources of the circuit. The second step is to remove the inductor and name its terminal as A and B. And the third step is to find out the equivalent resistance across those terminals A and B, or you can say that across the removed inductor terminals. And you have to write the time constant as L upon R equivalent, and R equivalent here is 5R by 2. So this was the brief example of finding out the equivalent time constant in some complex circuits. Thank you.